Well, there you go. The Canada Scene Festival. It's coming to the National Arts Centre, the NAC. You know it's going to be good. Anything that happens at the NAC, top-notch stuff. With us right now from that festival, Heather Moore is with us. How are you?
I'm great, thanks.
You must be excited.
We are.
We're getting close.
This is the biggest festival we've done for all these scene festivals. We're bringing more than 1,000 artists to the NAC for 6 weeks.
1,000 artists? Yeah. Okay. Tell us a bit about the festival, the history of it.
Sure. We started these scene festivals back in 2003, and we focused on the Atlantic region, and we brought 500 artists from Atlantic Canada in music, theatre, dance, visual arts, film, and even culinary arts. Huge success. And every 2 years, we've done a different region of the country. We ended up 2 years ago with Ontario, and it's like we'd magically planned it. We hadn't been. We realized it's the sesquicentennial, so we should do all of Canada in 2017.
Makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
How long does it take, though, to organize something where there's 1,000 artists coming to town?
Well, I mean, the preparations go back more than 2 years. We're constantly looking at artists who are on the rise, artists who are emerging. What's really exciting is we had some artists that were sort of emerging maybe 6 years ago in prairie scene, and we're now made their careers, and so now we've kept our eye on them through the time. And you're just juggling people's availability, trying to see what's new, what's hot, and making sure that we're sort of get the pulse of the nation.
Okay, so we need to talk about some of these artists then. So who do we have coming?
Well, we have sort of 3 levels. We wanted to celebrate Canadian icons. So we've got people like Buffy Sainte-Marie who's performing. We have a tribute to Oscar Peterson, the great jazz pianist. So we have people who are established artists. We also have artists who are kind of emerging, and we have all kinds of series of those people, theater shows people may not have heard of but are really rising, and artists such as Amelia Curran and the East Pointers, so artists who are sort of the younger voices. And then we have some artists who are going to ask us some interesting questions with their work, that are going to say, you know, who are we in 2017? Who is Canada, and who do we want to be? Okay.
So this is running, I mean, it kicks off on the 15th of June, goes till July 23rd, so we have about 6 weeks of programming at the National Arts Centre.
Yeah.
Okay. How many people do you think have sat on that bench with Oscar Peterson by the NAC?
It is an absolute magnet. And, you know, it's interesting that you brought that up, because that's a really interesting piece of public art that celebrates Canada. And one of the things we're doing in the new spaces of the NAC for Canada Scene is bringing a couple of other installation pieces that we think are going to be just as selfie-worthy as Oscar is. We've got, so we're inviting people to come in and see. There are lots of shows where you can buy a ticket and go to a theater, but we've got lots of free events. We've got these 2 great art installations. One is called Cloud, and it's from artists from Alberta, and it's 6,000 light bulbs, a giant structure that all have pull chains, old incandescent light bulbs, and you can come and play with them, and as a collective group you can make different things happen. And that's just going to be in the lobby all the time, so whether you're 2 or 92, you can come and do that. We have another installation from an artist from Kim Morgan from Nova Scotia that is a 58-foot-long replica of a PEI lighthouse, but it's all made of rubber and latex, and it's going to wind through the building. So there are going to be things like Oscar that are real kind of magnets for people to come and play with.
Oh, okay, so those installations, I mean, they're coming basically with the kickoff on the 15th?
Yeah, they'll be there on the 15th, and they'll be there the whole time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tell us about some of the family programming as well.
Yeah, we have... So the NAC is being renovated. If people have been driven by, they've seen all the hoarding. But on July 1st, we're going to open the new NAC and all these great new public spaces. We've taken all the exterior walkways that weren't used very much in Ottawa, and we've brought them under this beautiful glass enclosure. And we have great spaces. So we're going to be having every day at 11 o'clock, there's family programming in July. So free family programming. So you can come into the NAC, and we have wonderful artists, we have dance, we have theater, we have music for kids and families. And then every day at 6, also free, is our Scene at 6 concert series. And that's where people like Amelia, as I mentioned, and the East Pointers, and local people like Miguel Darmes, so jazz, world music, singer-songwriters are all free there. So we're saying the doors are open. This is the new NAC, so come at 11, come at 6, come and see these wonderful installations. So
are you talking about it being free for that entire 6 weeks? I mean, for the 11 o'clock and the 6 o'clock?
Those public performances, absolutely, in those spaces. We have other wonderful shows too that are going on in the stages. We've got people like Les Sept Doigts de la Main, the wonderful circus show for families.
A circus show is coming.
Oh, absolutely, but it's circus theater. Les Sept Doigts, the 7 fingers are it's circus with it's called Cuisine and Confessions. So personal stories, food, juggling, acrobatics, all messed into one. Wonderful.
Well, I always love what you do, and everything at the National Arts Centre, as I said, is just always top-notch and so creative and classy, too. And we're excited about the grand reopening as well.
Yes, so on July 1st, so this new renovation that we're doing, will be unveiled. There's a ribbon cutting, and we're inviting the public to take part in the ribbon cutting. There's a lottery to be one of 150 ribbon cutters on the street at 2 o'clock on July 1st. And then the doors will be open. There are free orchestra concerts that day, and the free sort of opening weekend rolls right into the 2nd, and all day on the 2nd you'll have free performances from everybody from the House of Paint to the Dochaquan dancers from the Yukon, people from all over the country performing for free. So we're inviting all of Ottawa, Gatineau, all of Canada to come to the NEC on July 1st and 2nd.
Does Jim Watson have to get in line for this lottery to cut the ribbon?
I don't know, probably.
Because no, he does, okay, good. Because he's been at a lot of ribbon cuttings.
That's true.
And he tweets out every one of them.
He has some connections at the NEC.
He does have some connections for sure. We're looking forward to Canada Scene, of course. What would you say, though, is the highlights? I mean, obviously, it's tough to pick. It's like picking your favorite child, and especially when you're so heavily involved in these 1,000 artists. Like, what nights, what days should we really be looking at?
Well, I mean, first of all, over 6 weeks, it's really hard to, as you said, to pick any one. But I think people should go in and take a look at the stories. I think we have some really interesting theater shows because it's a huge country, but the stories that come from the north or come from Newfoundland or Quebec are all kind of, they're individual, but they're universal. And so we have some wonderful theater that takes place usually at around 7 or 7:30 every day, so enough time to come and see a short show and then go on with your evening. And you can find it all on the website.
Yeah, of course, CanadaScene.ca is the place to go for all of this. We were talking about the grand reopening. Are you saying that everything's going to be done at that point? Because it seems like there's been a lot of work.
There are 3 phases. So that's the main floor, the main entrance with the main floor, and all those public spaces are opening. We have a few sort of more particular function rooms upstairs on the 2nd level that will only come online in the fall, and that's when the 4th stage is going to reopen.
Oh yeah, I love the 4th stage.
Yeah, we've been missing it a bit. But
I miss the 4th stage.
You'll be back there in October.
I like to pretend it's still there.
But it new and improved, though. I've been in. I've had a look around. It's going to be even better.
So it's very impressive what's been happening.
Absolutely. It's the NEC has been a very closed brick building that kind of said stay out.
Yeah.
We're opening the doors with this new glass. We're inviting everyone in.
This is amazing. We look forward to this Canada Scene with 1,000 artists. That's incredible. That's incredible.
Something for everyone.
CanadaScene.ca, Heather Moore with the festival at the National Arts Centre. Thank you very much for being here.
Thank you.
Very fun. We look forward to it. If you want to find out more about the Ottawa Community Foundation, we're going to do just that next, right here on Daytime Ottawa.